Good morning, Dr. Sarah. We are live.
Yay! Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on today, Melody.
Oh my goodness, it's my pleasure. This is so Mandy is busy this week, and so you are guest hosting, but we might have to make this a regular thing and change our name. I don't know.
Oh man.
Because I love having you here. So
Thank you.
you,
Same.
if for anybody who doesn't know, Dr. Sarah is all the way across the country from me. She's on the East Coast. Yes. So tell what's life on the East Coast like?
Oh my gosh. It is it's very interesting over here. Like I'm things are kind of like in limbo. You have I live in Virginia, work in Maryland, so we call this area the DMV because DC is in between. So in the DMV, then the DMV is kind of emerging as a hotspot for COVID-19. But other parts of Virginia and other parts of Maryland are doing significantly better. So they're talking about reopening those. There's like different phases that they're doing or whatever, but they say that the DMV is still kind of on lockdown. So it's definitely different. It's drastically different. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, so basically my husband goes everywhere. I don't really go a lot of places. And it really, I haven't stayed up this last week. I stopped like looking at all the stats. I don't know if that makes me an ignorant person. I just had to stop for a while. Like I had to give my brain a break. And honestly, Alaska has been one of the safest places in our country. And we might have hit 400 cases by this point. And one of my friends reminded me that that's only how many people are because we've tested. We haven't tested everybody. So the numbers aren't always the truth. But honestly, I think it's more relaxed here. Businesses are starting to open slowly. And that concerns me. I've read a lot about how people are really struggling financially right now. So but here it's, yes, oh my gosh. So this weekend, I was sitting in my backyard. My husband had made a fire, and there's a river behind our house, like literally behind our house. Like you could hear it full. It's crazy awesome. And I just felt like for the first time in 2 months, like, oh my gosh, life feels kind of regular right now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I felt like it feels like real life, like not, pandemic life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause it's really kind of weird right now, like sometimes I know with me, my subconscious will like go through it like in when I'm awake, then it's just like, oh, things feel regular or whatever. And then I go to sleep and have these crazy dreams. And I heard that that's like totally a thing now, where people are just having a whole bunch of crazy dreams, and it's just wild. So I don't know. Are you having any?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm having seriously weird dreams. And even my cousin was like, I dreamed we were on a plane together and we're shot, like weird random stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's wild.
I've been pregnant quite a few times in my life, and I always have really weird technicolor dreams when I'm pregnant. Those are the kind of dreams I'm having. And I promise you, I am not pregnant, and it's so weird, it's so crazy. Well, good morning to Brianne and Aaron and Christopher and Kim. Thank you all. And Rebecca, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. In the comments, tell us how life is going for you guys. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so yesterday was Mother's Day. Yay! Yeah. So happy belated Mother's Day to all the women watching, whether you have a child or not. I'm sure you've been called mom, or you've invested your time into a child, and that's what really matters, right?
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to all the moms out there and all the aunties, godmommies,
Yes, all the ladies.
Yeah.
It's our day,
Yes.
What did you do to celebrate?
Oh man, like luckily my folks live not too far from me, about 20 minutes. And we got together, my mom, my dad, my brother, and myself. We were all socially distancing within their house, but we kind of got together and just celebrated. And and it really it was really just a beautiful moment. I know one of the things that I've been the most stressed out about the pandemic was not being able to see my family, because I'm used to seeing them every day. So with all four of us together in that moment, I mean, it just made it so much more special, so yeah. So happy
Oh,
Mother's
definitely.
Day
And
to my mom, Marie. Yeah.
yes, Marie, happy Mother's Day. I love your mom. Everybody in EduMatch loves your mom. She's like,
Oh,
she's kind
thank
of
you
like,
so much.
there I freeze, always freeze. But yeah, she's like our
It's
designated
all
mom.
good.
She's our cheerleader. She's always bragging on us. She's an amazing woman. And happy Mother's Day
Oh,
to my
thank
mom
you.
too. If you're watching.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to your mom.
I don't think she watches.
Oh,
But
well,
okay,
happy Mother's Day to you.
Oh, thank
also.
you. Yeah, my husband did an incredible job, probably. And I felt kind of bad to post the wonderful things, but here's the thing. Here's something. Hey, Amy, my friend Amy from we're like high school friends. She's watching. And she's a teacher now too.
Nice.
So I thought, I've had a miscarriage and, I think about those things a lot more. I think most moms do when it comes to, thinking about Mother's Day. I have friends who have lost children, like not as babies, like grown children, like little kid children. So I know that like it is a painful day. And I'm so glad that as a society, we seem to be more clued into that, So there was a part of me that didn't want to say like all the good things that, my husband was doing. It sure wasn't my kids. My husband really went all out. But something that I've been dealing with during this pandemic is wondering like, how long do I have to live? Like my own mortality has been really weighing heavily on me. I used to think I was in the clear. I don't have any underlying health issues, but I'm not really sure that that's the case, and so anyway, I'm not going to go into all that morbidity. But I thought, I want this to be something I remember. It was amazing.
Yeah. So. And like that feeling that you just brought up, I mean, that's definitely relatable. I had that same thought, like we don't have guaranteed 50 more years ahead of us, in these times. So it's so important to make the most out of today, and to just, to do the best that we can, be the best that we can today. And, and others who are not, as fortunate to have that health, definitely helping them in whatever ways that we can. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is really morbid, but this is something I think about too. I mean, I know I'm like, I'm just going to get morbid. That's why I wore black. I wore black because it's slimming today. And I worry about that. Ugh, I'm not going to go there anyway, but I even thought, I have all of my babies with me, and whether it's pandemic or not, we don't even know how long we have our own children. Like, I think that's one of the hardest things about being a parent is having your kids sick and you can't do anything to help them. And knowing that the more you love them, the more it's going to hurt. Like if something happens to them, we just can't control these things. And I thought, so I'm just going to enjoy this. And I blogged about that this weekend about just knowing that it's a precious gift right now that is not guaranteed. Like you said, it's not guaranteed, so I'm just going to sit here and enjoy that. And relish in that. And that's, so those kind of thoughts definitely sit on my head. Kim says that life in Pennsylvania has been wild within our four walls. I'm teaching my 650 students through distance learning and my own 3 at home. We are really doing well, all things considered. Good. She says, make the most out of it. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You have a crazy life too. How many, well, like you're supporting teachers and students too, right?
Yeah. I'm on a team of, I mean, we've been collaborating with other departments and stuff. Today's a day off for me. I took a day off and just kind of lined up everything that I needed to get done. But yeah, like our team and other teams in our district have been providing professional learning opportunities to teachers in our district. And I mean, I'm just really inspired because everybody's stepping up. Everybody's doing what we need to do. So, I mean, and of course, the situation's not ideal, but I think that when we look back at this time, this is going to be a time that a lot of people can say, I grew so much as an educator during this time. So to me, that really does inspire me.
Yeah, the teachers in this are the most inspirational. I am so inspired by all the teachers. I mean, I honestly do not think I could do it. And I was ready to go back into public school. Like, I only wanted to take 1 year off, but I just, with the forecast of not knowing what's happening, I don't think that with 5 kids at this point in my life that I could do what all these amazing teachers are doing. They're doing it, but I don't know that that's something I want to do right now.
Right. There's a lot of change,
So
Yeah.
much. And that's another thought I think about, like, what is school going to look like? And yeah, so, oh, and that makes me kind of sad, but anyway, maybe I'll go back to school. I want to go back to school and get another degree. So
Yeah,
yeah, but
that's
you guys
hard.
are incredible. We've
Yeah.
just come off Teachers Appreciation Week. Teachers, educators everywhere, parents listening. You guys are there. I go freezing again. So you guys are incredible. So
Yeah, Teacher 365, hashtag Teacher 365.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
I don't know
So
if that's even a thing.
we just made it. You just made it a thing. You're kind of like, you're edgy famous.
Okay, all right, cool.
You know, Teacher 365. Boom. Yes, you are, Sarah. You're like genuinely, but you don't even know it because you're so genuine. Like that's why you're so amazing.
Oh, I appreciate you. No, you are amazing. Like,
oh my God, don't say it. No, like you're like, here's the thing about Sarah is, so I had talked to her for like what, a year and a half before we actually met in person.
Yeah.
And you cannot say this about everybody. I swear you cannot. I've met plenty of people in my life. Okay. So I know what I'm saying is true. When I met you, you were exactly the same person. You were not pretentious in any way, shape, or form. The genuine person that I see right here is who you are in real life. And I just was like, maybe that says a lot about who I am, but that just blew me away.
I appreciate you so much. Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me all like misty now. but no, I mean, really, I gotta thank you for everything that you do. Like, you are just phenomenal, and you just have so many talents, and just bring it together, and you just support everyone, and you are just fantastic. So I do
you're
appreciate.
So sweet.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Well, you're sweet. It's easy because I love it. I love our community and EduMatch, honestly. Like it's awesome. I wish I could do it like full time and really like maybe one day that'll be it. You know what I mean? Who knows? Let's grow. Anyway, and right. Brienne says you are the hashtag book boss.
Hi,
hey, good morning, Kristen. And that's the truth. She's the book boss. And because you are the book boss, and if anybody is watching, because this is streaming in a couple of places, Dr. Sarah Thomas is the founder of the EduMatch Foundation and EduMatch Publishing, and she's also the CEO. She's like the boss lady. And so this is a natural segue. What advice do you have for writers?
Oh man, so advice for writers. I would say, okay, probably one thing that a lot of people say is that they have something that they want to share, but they don't think that they should be the one sharing it. Like the whole, who am I to say this? You know, nobody's going to listen, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Even if somebody says the same thing, the same topic that you're talking about, they're not going to say it the same way as you. They have not had the same experiences as you. They have not lived the same life as you. So write it, you know, if it helps one, that's another thing. If it helps one person, you've done your job. You know, obviously you want to get your message out to as many people as possible so that they can all benefit from it. But if you've helped one person, then that is really, you know, that's really mission accomplished right there. Another thing is about time. You know, a lot of people say that sometimes they don't have the time to write. So some things, I have to give a shout out to my friend, Dr. Nicole Howard, who introduced me to the concept of scheduling meetings with yourself on your Google Calendar and blocking off that time so that nobody else can touch it. So love that. And I've been using that like all the time. So absolutely. What about you? You've been writing up a storm. So what would be your advice for writers?
Well, everything that you said, I agree with, and I might have to schedule that time. I'm not sure if it would work. I just think that you should just keep writing. Like something that happens to me is it gets all up in here. It gets up in my head. Like I'm always like, I love writing. Like writing gives me hope. It really does. Even in dark places, like if I can write it, it helps me to find like some peace in the situation. And like Mandy, she's not here today. She really encouraged me a couple of years ago to start blogging because I was following her. And she's like, you know what? Don't write for other people, write for yourself. And she's so right. What she said, not everybody's going to read your blog. So if you're writing for yourself, if you're, you know, you definitely want to have that audience. Of course, you're going to create the audience. But something that I like to do is write for myself. Okay.
Right.
And if it's super personal, I won't put it on my blog. It's just not something for everybody. But if it's something that, like you said, like one person can get something from, I want to share it. And it's something I have definitely looked through the last couple of years because I've been blogging semi regularly. And I'm doing better as a writer. And another thing that writing the I'm Sorry story really helped me to see more than ever was that it's so great to have other people look at your writing. When you want, there, I froze again. When you want to have a great
Okay.
piece, yeah, like don't, it's really hard when people actually are reading your stuff. Like it feels very personal,
Yeah.
and you can feel discouraged at times, but if you want to have an awesome piece, having other people's perspective is really important. And like Kristen Nan, she really challenged me. She was in my focus group for the I'm Sorry story. She really challenged me. And I just want to give her a shout out because I feel like what she gave me at the time almost was like overwhelming. But because I gave it a little break and I started thinking about what she said, I was able to come with a story that I think is even better than what my story was before she had given me her wisdom. So
Nice.
yeah, so that's my advice for writers. So just keep writing.
Yes. Keep on writing. Absolutely. I love that. I love that.
Yes.
So,
And Brienne says, I need to schedule my time too. Kristen says, my advice is just do it. I started my book 5 years before it was published. And now
oh,
she sits here. She's with her second published book.
yes.
Congratulations, Kristen.
Whoop, whoop.
And yeah, I would still be collecting this. And Alice is watching. So good morning, Alice.
Hey, Alice.
And so, speaking of writing, you wrote an amazing piece the end of this last week, about your feelings with the I Run With Maude. Of course, it's kind of new to all of us. We hadn't heard his name because what happened to him in February wasn't public until somebody leaked a video, which
Right.
is pretty disgusting in itself. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your piece? And I tried to drop it in the comments. So,
Right.
but go ahead, tell us about it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, hashtag I Run With Maude, that was just last Friday, which would have been Ahmaud Arbery's 25th birthday or 26th birthday.
26.
26th birthday, right. And so in support of his life and in celebration of his life, then there was a movement to walk 2.23 miles. So me, I decided to do it on my Peloton bike. I have not been, I used to jog a lot. Like that was like my go-to stress reliever. But I just have not been doing it lately, just for several reasons. Before I heard about the unfortunate tragic circumstance with Ahmaud Arbery, but just the prior incidents at my usual running place, as well as news reports, things that were happening on the news, different incidents, targeting people of color, and just kind of seeing the increase in just like this sentiment, like in the country. I just personally didn't feel safe going and running. And on top of that, you have a pandemic over everything else. So so pretty much as I did my 2.23 miles in silence on Friday morning, like in the early hours of the morning, it was around like 4 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock Eastern. And as immediately as I got after, as you were saying before, when you have like those feelings that are like bottled up inside, then I just, got to writing right away, and did something to just kind of channel that emotion. I'm a firm believer in you create something out of the pain, and that helps you process it. So I mean that's what the blog post was about, and just I mean we have a long way to go as a society. I'm glad that that the public response was enough to get the perpetrators, his murderers, arrested. And I mean, yeah, but I mean, there's got to be more, and there's so many cases that we don't even hear about, and that's always kind of that's always in the back of my mind. So, yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you shared. You know, I think like if we don't listen and we don't hear it, we just don't understand, you know? So because I am a white person and my perspective on life is drastically different than yours, you know? For me to go look into a house that's being built, you know, people would just ignore that, you know, I wouldn't be like a threat to anybody. And like what really bothers me is that people are still continuing to ignore that like racial profiling exists, you know, that people like I have a friend and she posts a lot about like living while black. And I mean, here's the thing, it's real. You know, we can't ignore it. We can't afford. So I lived in the Dallas area when Botham Jean or Botham John, I'm sorry, I always say Jean because that's how it's spelled, but when Botham John was gunned down in his home. And it was a devastating time. It was so close. And I followed that story. And it made me ill to think that a police officer just like, there was just such an overwhelming thing that like, because Botham John's brother forgave Amber Geiger, whatever her name is, that like she shouldn't see justice. And no, like people need to see justice. These are innocent people being gunned down. And you know, I respect our police and you know our first responders. I respect them, but there also needs to be addressed that there's racism in there. You know, there racial profiling. It's happening. You know, she was a police officer, like an active person, and then the father of the I can't remember his name, and I don't even want to say his name because I don't want to give him any sort of props or anything. But he was also a former policeman. And I think that, like, if nothing, can we please open our eyes that injustice is happening and say it and believe it, you know? And your article really got to me because number one, you're very transparent, but also you have made changes in your life because of it. Like it affects you personally. Like it's not just a news story and it's not just a sad news story. Like it literally has changed what you do in your daily life and how you see yourself in your daily life.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, one thing I wrote in there that I'll reference is that it just kind of feels like a skipping CD, you know, because it just keeps happening over and over and over. Like, mind you, my whole not feeling safe to run, this happened like about a month before this came to light, before this incident came to light, or at least until I was aware of it. But just, you can kind of feel things coming sometimes, you know, and things never really go away, you know. I mean, I should say things have not gone away. Hopefully one day we can say that things go away, but I don't know. That's a day.
That time is not here. That time is not now.
Yeah.
And it won't come unless we do something. And it's not just our people of color friends, you know, our friends of color. Like it literally has to be us, our white, like this system is based on the advantages that we have, our privileges. And so if we don't dismantle that ourselves, it's going to continue to happen. I have hope that my children are going to be different. They're already growing up different from me, but we don't have like, you know, I don't want to wait 20 years. And this, like you said, for this story to keep happening. I mean, and you wrote in your blog post that somebody was filming you, like a lady pulled out her phone to film you as if you were breaking into your own car.
Right. Yeah.
She doesn't know. Yeah. She doesn't know that you are you have a doctorate's degree, that you are the CEO and founder of a publishing company. You know, people are ridiculous. Like you're an amazing human being, and people to judge that, like literally is such a superficial way to judge somebody and to be so ugly, you know, and to promote that, like in itself promotes violence and just perpetuates, you know, you know, everything, the profiling, everything. So yeah, it was, it's so hard on social media. You don't want to put like the love, because I don't love all of this happening to anybody, but I do love that you're able to share in a way that is very meaningful and very brave, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
It takes a lot of courage to do that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's you know, and I definitely just wanted to just, you know, express my thoughts and my condolences to his family. You know, I don't know them, but you know, just putting it out there in the universe and to anyone who has had to go through anything like that. So, I mean, Just and hopes and prayers and wishes for a better future, and
Right.
action, you know.
Action, definitely.
Yeah.
And I something that if you want to do, um, something that you can do that I just did is I joined the NAACP. I have been thinking about it for quite a while, and I really respect the organization so much. And I have been to one or two meetings where I used to live in Texas. And I don't know how it is here in Alaska, but that's something easy to do. Even if you never go to a meeting, giving that $30, it's all an annual membership is $30. You're paying for something, like you're contributing to people who are working hard for social justice for all people of color. That's one thing you can do. Talking about it is one thing you can do. And I'm speaking mostly to white people right now. And I know that people get upset when they just can't handle it, like use color and all that stuff. But let's just be frank. Let's just be frank. We've got to do something. And there are some things that we can do immediately right now. And that's one thing. Another thing that we can do immediately right now is just listening more than we talk. Like a lot of times, and I used to be guilty of this, so guilty of this. Well, I'm probably still guilty of this, but I talk too much and I don't listen. And you have to be able to listen to other people without trying to run over them with your own opinion of what you think life is like for everybody, because it's just not the case, And so if you actually, when I finally stopped talking so much about what I thought life was like for everybody and started listening, that's when I started to I think I started to be a part of the change for the better,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so those are things that we can easily do right now,
Yeah, that is important. And I appreciate you bringing that up. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. And another thing you can do, is be friends with people of color. Like that's how you love people. It's like having relationships with them. Is it weird? Like I always feel like I'm not saying the right words, and that's okay. Cause my heart, you love me.
Right.
So
yeah.
you can correct me if I totally will stand that. But here's the thing is that if you live in a world that is just like you, you're never going to see the other side of the coin. We're never going to see life as it is for other people. And one of the best things of my life these last few years is the diversity of my friends. And it's just been amazing. And it's beautiful. I cherish it. It has changed me as a person. And I don't take it for granted in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And I love the fact that social media opens up like our entire world. I definitely second what you say in terms of befriending all kinds of people, and letting your worldview be challenged. And I have to say that thanks to Twitter, Voxer, Facebook, well, not thanks to them. I mean, they're tools, but thanks to the people on them, it's just changed my life as well, in several ways. Like I have a friend, for example, I don't know if she's watching right now, probably not because it's midnight, but in the Philippines, and we would talk every day on Voxer, every day. Somebody literally on the other side of the world, 12 hours apart, and I mean, just getting to know folks and just, sharing in life is just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And I think that it's great to, to befriend all kinds of people, and make those deep friendships, the ones where y'all, you could tell the person's favorite color, what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you know what a day in the life looks like. And I've had people that have been like drastically on the other side of the political spectrum for me, and getting to know them, and them getting to know me and vice versa. It's really broadened my whole scope, in terms of, and not just politically, but all different kinds of just people who are my diametric opposite, right? And on paper, and come to find out that that we could, we can understand one another, and understand where the other person is coming from and why they may think the way that they do. So, definitely, I definitely agree.
I love that you said that about, politically, and oftentimes people don't want to, they use the excuse, well, I don't want to get into politics. And then that's the end of the conversation. But this isn't really a political conversation. It could be very political, but really this is a human conversation,
Absolutely.
And oftentimes we dismiss it because we don't want to talk politics, but this is And unfortunately, we do that with a lot of issues that that humanity deals with. And then we forget that we're stripping away the humanity of people. And so, and I love that. Something that has also been challenging me for the last few years is to be able to listen to people that are very much thinking differently than me, whether it's politically, whether it's about religion. Like these are things that in my former life, my younger self, I was not able to embrace. Like I literally couldn't embrace a person who was of Muslim faith. I just couldn't. Like I just grew up in such a different type of culture for myself that it just, but it took a relationship with a colleague, and we had some run-ins, and then what we decided, we have to work together. We have to be professional. Let's get to the bottom of this. And then we became like each other's cheerleaders. And I realized of all of my teammates, she and I had the most in common. We were both totally devoted to our faith. And I could respect that. Her faith looks different than mine, but I respected that. And she respected that about me anyway. She was way more open-minded than I was. So I mean, that's helped me. Now I have, of course, way more friends who have different faiths than me, or no faith at all, or whatever. They just, it's just, but that was not who I used to be. And so I'm so appreciative of all the people in my life that are different than I am and who will listen to me, and I can listen to them. I don't take it, like I've said, or I've probably run my mouth too long, but I don't take it for granted.
No, that totally makes sense. And there's one thing that you said that I want to touch on, and I appreciate the opportunity to self-correct myself because I kind of said something a couple minutes ago that I just wanted to kind of correct what I was saying. But I think that you said it beautifully. Oh my gosh. And all of that precursor, now I done forgot. But but no, okay, you were saying about politics and how some conversations are not about politics, that people tag them as politics, but really it's about like humanity, you know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to self-correct when I was saying before about like diametric opposites and stuff like that. I don't mean on issues of humanity. So I just wanted to take so I appreciate that you had said that, and I wanted to just clarify that to anybody who was listening.
No, I know, and I think that what you were saying makes absolute sense, because you're right. On paper, we look like different people, and if we just went by like the things that our survey says about us, we'll never meet in that human way. We'll not have that human connection. We might not even be welcome to that human connection with each other. So there's no, I don't think there's any need for self-correction. You said it right. Like we could be polar opposites in beliefs and political, whatever, affiliations and faith things. But still we could find a way to be humans together. And I think that's the hope that I bring in my writing. I hope that I bring it in my, who I am as a person, as a mother, as a wife. And we have these conversations with our kids all the time. I talked, and my husband talked. We talked with our kids about Ahmaud Arbery, and I'm sorry that I hate to say names wrong. So, but we talked with our kids about this because when we were living in the Dallas area, they went to a school where they were it was mostly not white. So all of their friends were anything. Yeah, I mean, like anybody but white, you know what I mean? So for them, their world, that was those were their friends. They see the world in a different way than I did when I was being raised. And I love that. They see people as people. And to them, it really upsets them in a way that I could never have been upset when I was a kid, because I didn't see it the same way. So all of that running around. Anyway, I just there is hope. There is definitely hope in the future generations. But I don't want to wait 20 years for that to happen. We can all do something right now to be a part of that change. So and I see some comments coming in. My friend Gail says she loves this, and I saw Dean say something earlier, but Dean says the boss lady, and it's funny because we have this streaming in two different places, so seeing the comments are it's a little bit different. But thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Gail, for joining us. And any comments are appreciated. Kim says, I feel like that too, Melody. I want people to know I love them without misstepping and sounding ignorant. Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. And it's something that we need to be open to is if we do say something ignorant, we need to be open to correction. It's just how we cannot keep being ignorant, and we have to be open to that. So
right. Absolutely.
definitely.
I hear you on that. That is true.
So thank you. Yeah. Do you have any, I don't want to like take away your thoughts. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. This is great combo. So I appreciate the opportunity to discuss this.
Oh yeah, me too. Thank you for being open. Thank you for sharing. That was a really amazing blog post that you put on there. But you have written a couple of blog posts that have really gotten to me. So anybody, like I put your blog post in your comments. We can follow you, right? We can follow your blog.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I follow back, so
oh cool.
I would love to read anybody's thoughts. Yeah, if you're putting them out there, then I'll definitely, stay tuned to that as well.
Yes. And so, and so before we go today, just like if you're a writer, whether it's whatever the topic it is, we hope that you will write about it. It's a great way to get your message out there. It's a great way for people to understand who you are and care and to help make change. Writing helps bring about. And we've seen that in our, in EduMatch, we've seen and other books that have written by all of our community people, like being a writer is really important. So, yes. So anyway, I want to thank everybody. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Like I've
oh man, we have the giggles today. Man.
Yes. So thank you all for joining. Sarah, Dr. Sarah, do you have any last words you'd like to share?
Oh no, just thank you to everybody for joining us. Thank you for interacting in the comments. I'm seeing them go through, and I'm just kind of about to go in and respond to some on the Facebook page. But I see y'all, and y'all are awesome. So thank you so much.
Oh, and so I'm just now getting some comments too, because there's a little bit of a lag time. But Dean Gainey, Dean says this conversation needs to happen more. It is hard being of color and dealing with the reality of this. Thank you, Dean. And he says, and how it impacts our day-to-day lives, including that of being educators of color. And he says, thank you. And it's actually, Dean, and I love Dean so much. So thank you for sharing your thoughts. It's actually the people that I worked with that really had the most impact on me. I want to give a shout out to my friend, Natalie James. She's a librarian. And, she actually sat down with me and she was very patient with me. I'm so blessed to have somebody in my life that was able to like speak into my life and help me to see like educators of color. They feel really like islands. They feel like islands a lot of times in the school systems, and so that's a real thing, Dean. So thank you for saying that. And
and can I pop in real quick on that?
Yes.
So there are some places to go. Like for example, if you're on Boxer, then there is hashtag POC EdTech. And I think that there's a Facebook group as well. And if you are on Twitter, then I would recommend anybody check out EduColor. That's a great group to align with, and also ISTE DEPLN for digital equity.
That's right.
So it's one of the PLNs, but I mean, talk about things such as representation and and also equity. Other equity issues as well. But yeah, those are just a couple of resources I just wanted to share.
What did you say? What hashtag was it? POC Ed?
POC EdTech.
Putting that in the comments. And then hashtag EduColor. I know about EduColor. And then hashtag ISTE ELP.
I'm sorry, ISTE DE as in digital equity.
Yeah.
PLN.
And I was following that because I've got to watch and listen to y'all at ISTE. Okay, so I put those in the comments. And Twitter is a great place to learn. Yeah. And sometimes just listen. Like try not to put your 2 cents in when your 2 cents isn't welcome. Like you gotta listen more than you talk. I just want to say that. Like if you really want to learn about other people, you have to listen more than you talk. And I just want to put that out there. So seriously. Well, this has been great. I appreciate everybody who has shared, and I appreciate everybody that is watching. Dr. Sarah, I love you. You are a phenomenal woman. You are making changes and just the ripple effect that reaches so many of us. So thank you so much for being on our Mandy and Mel show today. And of course, you're welcome anytime you want to be on.
Thank you so much, and much love to you, and much appreciation. So thank you.
Yeah, and next this coming Thursday, our friend Erin Kiger, she's an author. She's going to be a guest, and she's going to be talking about EduBalance. So we'll see you guys on Thursday, everybody. Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.